Hello and welcome back to Exeter City, where last time things were quite positive. My hopes and dreams were indeed crushed. I'll get you caught up. We followed up the positive times with Midlands teams with a 4-3 loss to Newcastle at Newcastle with my entire second team. That was kind of promising, the fact we were in there, because they didn't weaken that much either. But being out of the Carabao Cup, no big deal. A 3-1 victory at Crystal Palace meant things were looking still quite positive. 10 points. And 9 points from 9 in away games at that point in the league. Kind of looking like away fixtures might be our thing. Especially when Everton beat us at home 1-0 and West Ham beat us at home 4-1. A creditable 1-0 loss to Chelsea and a creditable 2-0 loss to Arsenal. Things aren't necessarily as bad as they look. The goal that Everton scored was incredibly scrappy. And we absolutely didn't deserve to go out of that game without a goal. We should have scored 2. Chelsea, similarly. Yes, maybe we deserved to lose the game, but we probably should have scored a goal. West Ham was an FMing of grand proportions. Again, maybe we deserved to lose the game on the total face of things, but we did have 8 shots on target. They only had 7 shots on target, and they scored 4 of them. It's the one game where Robert Sanchez has sort of fallen down a little bit, but we'll allow him one blip. Arsby's one blip as well. He literally gifted the first goal, and it went downhill from there. And Arsenal, the one game that we were thoroughly outclassed in. I don't know really what happened there. All that means is we are 16th, but we are still 5 points clear of the drop. So there's a bit of a grouping at the bottom at this stage where 4 teams are sort of vying for those 3 positions. And then there's a whole bunch of teams just above that. We're only 5 points away from 11th, and we're also 5 points away from 18th. So this season still could go either way. I'm hoping it goes the positive one. But it is Norwich and Brentford today. Norwich behind us, Brentford ahead of us, I'm pretty certain. Yeah, not that far ahead of those 2 points. And depending on who they play, we could be in the same mix as them. They're away at Everton. So if they were to lose and we were to win, we would be ahead of them going into that match. Other side bits of news, Benito Rahman has a transfer arranged for $6.5 million. He's going to Mexico because he's being a diva. He came to me again asking for a new contract. I don't remember him getting over not getting the contract originally, which is what he was annoyed at before. But he came to me asking for a new contract again, wouldn't back down when I talked to him, so off he goes. He'd be 32 by the time his current contract runs out, so yeah, he's not getting a new one. I am just going to have a quick word with Johnson. Recent form, sorted out, mate. Like, he scored 3 goals quite early on. Things were looking positive. Kind of dropped off. Sanchez will be in goal for this Norwich match. Martin and Castillo both are actually better as complete wing-backs in terms of just their overall star rating, so I'm going to play them both as complete wing-backs going forward. We'll see how that changes things. Luan Perez with Arsby alongside him. That one game aside, still averaging a 7.1. He got a 6 in one game. He got a 6 in the last game he played, and he still has a 7.1 average. Sangre in front of him, he's been pretty solid all things considered. Markovic has been in a similar boat of being pretty good without being sensational consistently. Perkins continues to be one of our best players, of course. Mansley is being confusing. I don't know whether he's good or bad. Kuzu scored. Kuzu finally scored against Crystal Palace, but every other game he's been woeful in, but we've run out of players to play on that right-hand side, so in he comes, and Johnson remains up front as our only vaguely competent striker. That $6 million for Benito Rahman added to our current about $14 million, I think it is. Yeah, I think that's going on striker in January, but we are currently without Martin Saunders and Julian Fernandez, who, once again, had a good game when we rotated him against Newcastle and then decided to be utterly useless in every other game since. His only 2 goals have come in those Carabao Cup fixtures. League-wise, useless. And this close to trying a wingless formation again. Because we do have Martin Saunders and Kuzu who can play striker. So 2 strikers isn't outside the realms of possibility. Of course, Ray Brewster can play striker, so technically I've got 4 strikers. I could try and go back to the 4-1-3-2. But Norwich in yellow, of course, they very rarely have to worry about changing their kit for away matches. One advantage of playing in yellow and green. Okay, so not a lot seen, but early momentum appears to be with us. And as I'm about to encourage our players, we do actually get a highlight 25 minutes in. Arsby out to Castillo. It's gone all the way back to Sanchez. Perez. Is Johnson going to get under this? No, he is not. That is Jack O'Connell, I presume. 5 years in. How old's Jack O'Connell? Maybe he's younger than I thought he was. Mansley. Aaron Martin. That's going to be dinked forward to Perkins, making a lovely run, as he always does. Inwards to Kuzu, who's not actually got the ball. It's a corner. I'm guessing he did have the shot. It must have been blocked. Aaron Martin puts this ball in and it falls to Chambers in the middle. Callum Chambers. He's the kind of player that ends up at this kind of club. Normally. I haven't really seen much of him in this year's FM, but he's normally a lower-end Premier League acquisition because his contract runs out usually quite early on. I don't know what his situation is in real life. Of course, he's gone to Palace in real life, hasn't he? So I'm guessing that's why that's no longer happening, because he's just started a new contract somewhere else. Sorry, not Palace. He definitely went somewhere, though. Was it Southampton? Sangare, Castillo. Sangare again. Arsby, Castillo. Nice passing play. Castillo again. That's going to go all the way across to Mansley. That's a nice little ball across to Mansley. Aaron Martin there in support. Perkins. I love you, Sonny Perkins. And we have taken the lead in a home game. We did take the lead in the West Ham game, I've just remembered. And that went not so well. They're looking for underlaps, according to my assistant manager. Thank you for that advice. But that is another lovely run from Sonny Perkins and doing what he does best. Oh yeah, one minor thing is I switched the inverted wingers to inside forwards. That immediately proceeded to the 3-1 victory at Crystal Palace, so I've stuck with them. And, well, is indeed Callum Chambers. Oh, is that Aston Villa he went to? Just don't really feel like I saw him in this year's season, even at Aston Villa, so I wasn't entirely certain where he'd gone. But Aaron Martin, deep free kick. He's decided to be cheeky with it, and that doesn't quite work out for us. Sangare, lightly jogging towards the ball here. Sanchez finds Castillo. Luan Perez, Perkins. Castillo and Arsby swapping places temporarily there. But now Arsby's back. Markovic does have Castillo out to his right now. Does find Uzun Kuzu. I was slightly concerned he was going to lose the ball there. Kuzu does, but only slight tackles as far as Johnson, and now it's got his way back to Kuzu, who's in, and he's dodged that tackle. Well, yeah, that should have deserved better. This is Kuzu's best game, I think, aside from the one which he scored a goal in. He was a substitute in that game, and ended up with a 7+ just because he scored. Scott Olsen. This is by no means sorted yet. It's still only 1-0. Chambers, and this is dangerous. Chambers. We are the architects of our own downfall. Still. Don't get me wrong. West Ham scored a bunch of goals, but the first of those was directly from our play. I don't know what Arsby's doing there. There's no one behind him. He should have just let it go across. But we are well on top, and we should have scored a second by now. Baba Mansley is the most tired player on the pitch currently, which is annoying because he's one of the best ones. So Brewster on though. Dennis Castillo at right back I'm looking at here. Why does Aaron Martin have to be good? Because I need to get Thierry Small more minutes and I just can't afford him. But Einar on for Castillo is the other change. I think if Norwich get a point out of this is ridiculous. Ola Einar. Here we go. Ozan Kazana, you said there. I don't know where that came from. Kuzu. I think they're going down to 10, which is only going to make our job harder because I know how Football Manager works. Yep, 1-1. Ridiculous. Oh, before an international break. West Ham just beat Liverpool, who were top, so I feel slightly less bad about that 4-1 now. Okay, so we just had a poorly timed international break. That one's on me, but obviously you see none of that. I've just been waiting so long to play this Brentford game in the real time. Chelsea have sacked their manager in this period and decided to make their head of youth development their caretaker manager. He's really good. Like, just as a straight up manager, he's really good. When does his contract run out? I want to sign him. Oh, the outbound manager, by the way, was Guardiola. For this Brentford game, I'm going to try something. Perkins is going to be our striker because he's the only person who seems to be able to find the net. Hesham comes in his spot. He's been complaining about game time. Solves hopefully 2 problems at once. Otherwise, the lineup is unchanged. Martin Saunders versus Kuzu as a starter. Don't really know which one to go with there. But I'm going to stick with this just because Saunders is back from an injury and not quite at full fitness. We are in Wynvember, so some people are kicking off. Mario's kicked off about playing time. I kind of see it, but Arsby has been consistent despite the own goal last game, which was unfortunate. He's consistently better than Mario. I don't know what's wrong with Mario. I don't know why he's bad, even as a centre-back. He can now speak English. 5 years in, a lot of the Brentford team is still the Brentford team. Their season hasn't started quite as fantastically as the last one did, so they are obviously still just ahead of us in the table as I highlighted earlier on. There is something happening here. That's Luan Perez. That was Aaron Martin actually winning the ball in our corner. Aaron Martin to Sangare now. Luan Perez back out to Aaron Martin. Finds Baba Mansley. Back in Mr. Sangare. Finds Hesham. That's Perkins to head on to Mansley this time. Is he going to re-release is what I was going to try and say there, but failed spectacularly. There's Perkins. There's the goal. He doesn't look happy about it, so I think he's offside. It's hard to spot in real time, but judging by reaction, disallowed. We will hopefully see this again, but it is, at very least, a comforting sign to see us. He's massively not offside. Once again, the game engine not showing us offsides properly. Okay, building from the back, Arsby finds Markovic. Back to Sangare briefly. Back to Markovic. Arsby now. I can see options on this right-hand side. Kuzu will get on the end of that because their defender just decided not to really defend it, but he's woken up now. Markovic brings it back to Sangare again. In Mr. Ozan Kuzu. His name does confuse me for some reason in my own brain. I don't know why I find it so hard to say his name properly. That's awkward, and it's missed in the end. I think it deflected the cross there. It's not exactly a thrilling game. The XG looks worse than it is, but it's only 0.25 to them. So, oh, Sangare scored. This one will count, I think. He ran off with arm up, but he didn't run that far. It is counting. Excellent. I was trying to work out who could possibly be offside there because, maybe it's Kuzu that's being questioned, but he's definitely on. There was definitely defenders in the middle of the box that were further. We're not even going to see it. But yeah, he was definitely behind some of those defenders in the middle. Once again, away from home, we're up. I'm actually just going to tell them to shorten the passing a little bit. The possession has actually evened out a bit. I was a little bit worried early on when it was 60-40 in the possession, but it has evened out a little bit. Perkins has found the net from a corner. We don't score many of those considering, so it's nice to see him actually do it. Now, he is the one that was on the near post, I believe. Hesham's the one attacking the near post now in the slot that Perkins used to be in. That is a good point. Do just need to double check how tall Hesham is. He is 6 foot, but that is not the player I want to be having there in this moment. I want the 6'4" person on the near post, just in case Perkins is not the one to actually get it. As I said previously, it seems to be very much pot luck whether it's going to be the person stood on the near post or attacking the near post that will actually receive the corner. And it's always the one that you don't want, or would rather have the other. Arsby, in Mr. Sangare, cross now, working down the left-hand side instead perhaps. Lays off to Martin. Mansley with odd footwork. Don't know if that was an animation glitch, but he's got it back again. Mansley holds it up just a little bit. Puts the ball all the way across. Kuzu gets under that. And Markovic on the... Ooh, that would have been sensational. Castillo not playing well again. Okay, so we'll bring Brewster on. Ozan's not had a bad game, but he is rather tired. So Saunders on, I think, on that side. Castillo's not had a good game, but Markovic is tired. So which one? Castillo's on a 6.5 and book, so I'm going to make a treble substitution. I really want to get Thierry Small some minutes. It's really frustrating me that I can't get him more minutes because of other people. Thank you for just sort of letting that one roll out there, Ozan. I don't know what happened, but you have triggered the substitutions, at least. We've got a player called Binks in their central line. Genuine player, genuine English player, who is currently playing at Bologna, I think. Sorry, just a lot of Star Wars recently. It caught my attention. Luan Perez. I mean, I wasn't expecting his first name to be Jar Jar. That would have been weird, but still caught my eye. Perkins. There's Biggs. Pert Harris. We are 2-0 up here, but it'd be quite nice to go away with a clean sheet. Arsby sensibly heads that on to Sanchez. That was nice work, actually, defensively there from Arsby. He may not have the upper ceiling potential-wise, but he is definitely the best performer we have in that back line. Only on a 6.7 today, though, according to the rating. And Buemo has got past Martin there, and I do wonder if I should have actually brought Small on for a little bit more pace there now, as Martin appears to be tiring a tad. Can't really sort of short things up a little bit more because I'd already gone slower and shorter on the old tempo and passing range. That was just good work from them. It's unfortunate to have conceded there a bit. Perez has dropped off. I don't know what happened there. He started fantastically for us. The first few games, good 7 ratings, and the last half a dozen games, 6.4 to 6.6 at best. But we have won this game, which is great news. 2-1 away from home again. But the away matches, not at top 6 sides, we've won them all. The only away matches we lost were Chelsea and Arsenal. Does bring us on to 14 points ahead of Brentford now, of course, as well. Ahead of Leicester. In fact, everyone's played 12 games, so this is all on merit. You can see why they sacked the Pep blow. He is in 12th with Chelsea, or was in 12th with Chelsea. But now a good solid 8 points clear of Burnley in 18th. In fact, this season, very good chance the 3 teams that went down in real life could be going down. Norwich, just outside that bottom 3 as well. Fortunate, a little bit. But we were due a victory that we possibly shouldn't have deserved just because of all the ones we'd lost that we didn't deserve to lose. But yeah, genuinely, away from home, 1-0 at Burnley, 2-0 at Villa, 3-1 at Palace, 2-1 at Brentford, only 1-0 loss at Chelsea, which was a fortunate goal on their side. Oh no, the Everton goal was incredibly fortunate. The Chelsea one was well worked, but just the one lapse, basically, against Chelsea. And really, Strike's goal in Arsenal was a corner, and then he scored in the 93rd when things were basically done anyway. So, away from home, we've been far better than we have at home. We had to win in the league at home, but the actual away matches, very good for us. This is an odd season because it could run out very similarly to the last one, so there's a chance where I'll just sort of play through the second half of the season, and if anything gets dangerous one way or the other, I'll bring you back for it. So I'm kind of more inclined to bring you back more in this first half, whilst this season is still sort of forming itself in terms of what our trajectory might be. There's a very good chance, as I say, that it might just end up being one of those seasons where we're neither one nor the other, which isn't particularly interesting. So I'll bring you back. I mean, I see Watford and Bournemouth in the middle of December. It's not that far away, but again, they're the kind of teams that we're contesting with at this point in time, so maybe that's sensible. But our form has upticked again. A draw and a win. 4 more points on the board. That's what we needed after that poor run there. Liverpool next. Okay, never mind. I'll see you very soon, though, I think. Until then, thank you for watching. Ciao.